I can't believe this. First, I had some crazy luck finding Game Boy stuff at a flea market. Now I just had some insane luck with all of these Digimon toys. So, let's get to it. Hey everyone, so I'm back with another entry in my quest for Digimon, and this time I think by far this is going to be pretty much my best Digimon pickups video ever. Now, I had a couple of decent finds a few months ago at this point where I was able to trade in a bunch of stuff to this local store, and I was able to get a couple of decent figures, but this just takes the cake. I got all this stuff for $20. Not including the first few items I'm going to show you guys, just because I happened to find some things at a thrift store, but I got the rest of the stuff for $20 from a Kijiji deal, and it's just insane. So first, to start out with the things that I got from Value Village, I found these in one bag of toys with a bunch of other random stuff that I ended up throwing out. So first up is I think this is the in-training form of Armadillomon, and I really don't remember his name. I think it's something like Upamon, but I might be wrong about that. But I believe that this is unofficial. All it says on the back of it is China, so I can assume that that's fake. The other item that I got at first I thought was official as well, but turns out to be fake. It is this, I believe it's the 1.5 inch scale version of Stingmon, but I already have this figure here, but I noticed that there's definitely something up here. The colors don't match up, and even on the bottom of this one here that I just got recently, doesn't say Bandai on it at all. So this is actually a fake one. This is the official one. The only downside is that the fake one is complete. The official one, I'm missing the wings on it, and this is actually a completely different mechanism on the back of it, so I can't even just swap out the wings. But oh well, it's still a decent figure, visually at least. It does look more or less like the actual thing. And the other figure that I got from a Value Village, this one here was a disappointment because it is the official figure, but it's missing a couple of very, very important pieces. It is this figure of Omnimon, and as you can clearly see, it's missing his left arm that's made up of War Greymon, and it's missing his head as well. So I just don't know what I'm going to do with this, but for the time being I'm just going to toss it in the box with all the rest of my random Digimon parts. Moving on from there though are all of the amazing figures that I got on Kijiji for $20, and I really still can't believe this. But just so that this video doesn't end up taking forever, I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. First item I already have, it is this action feature Growlmon. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this. Decent figure, had this one as a kid, very happy to have it again, but now I have 3 of the exact same figure. Another one that I technically had already, but it was in terrible, terrible condition. It is a 1.5 inch action feature Gargomon that basically just flaps his ears and his hands turret things again. But it is stuck right now. I'm going to have to see how I can fix that. But it seems to work whenever it wants to, just not all the time. I got 2 other smaller figures here that are in the same scale as that Gargomon toy. There was this Flamedramon and a Zudamon also. Both of them have action features where they flail their arms pretty much. But they're still decent figures. I'm just not the biggest fan of that scale, the 1.5 inch action feature toys. Those ones are not, they're not terrible, but they're also not all that exciting. Now, moving on from those ones are the, I believe these are the 3 to 5 inch range of just figures. This one here, I believe it was D Warriors or Digital Warriors having a really hard time remembering right now, but these are pretty decent figures, and they are from the third series, which is my favorite. First one here, I actually technically have this already. It is Rapidmon, but this one is in amazing condition. Mine is missing the right foot, and it's also missing the missiles that launch from his hands as well. And mine also had a whole bunch of paint chipping. And this one here, surprisingly, the person that I bought this from really cared for these, and they took like a Gundam marker to this. I know that this person was into Gundam as well, because that's another item that they were selling. They were selling a lot of Gundam toys, but I just really didn't have an interest in that right now. But they took a Gundam marker and outlined all of the different panels on this to really make it stand out more, and is in really, really good condition. Well, the person that I bought these from, she did a little bit of paint application on some of these, which I'm going to try to see if I can get rid of, but for the most part, it's fairly decent. The next figure here, I again technically already have, but it was missing some key pieces, basically one shoulder pad and the cape. It is the Gallantmon figure in the same scale as this Rapidmon, and this one is just amazing. I really, really love this figure. And like I mentioned with Rapidmon, she did the same sort of panel lining on Gallantmon as well. You can see it across the front there. All those black lines were not originally on this figure, and honestly, it really helps to make the figure look more substantial, because when you look at this figure on its own without any other applications, it is mostly white, and all the rest of the color are pretty much sequestered only to his kneecaps and his shoulder pad things, which is just kind of weird. But yeah, this figure is mostly white if there's no other paint application applied to it. Moving on from there is another figure that I technically have, and actually this one is in the worst condition of all of these figures. It is the Digivolving, and yes, we're getting into the Digivolving figures here as well. Digivolving War Growlmon. It digivolves from Growlmon to War Growlmon, if I remember correctly. I'm just not certain if I'm remembering the names correctly there, but it is a decent figure. But I do have this one here in the sort of chrome finish. They had variants of a bunch of the Digivolving figures that came in like a chrome plated version that was either shiny gold or shiny versions of whatever color it's supposed to be, so shiny green, shiny red, shiny purple and blue. A whole variety of shiny options, but that one there, I'm just going to have to try to see what I'm going to do with that for the time being. Next up is this figure that's in the same scale as the Gallantmon and Rapidmon. It is Telmar, and very happy with this one here that she actually came with her sort of accessories here. I believe these were her talismans that she used as part of one of her attacks. So it's very nice to see those included as well. And this one's in really good shape. The only sort of downside to this figure is that her tail is completely hollowed out for some reason. Just kind of weird, but very decent figure, very posable, and again, very nice that it still had those accessories included. After that is the Digivolving QB Mom. And this one here, I honestly do not know if all the pieces are included in this. It looks pretty decent, and she did apply some extra paint to this, because without the extra paint application, this is pretty much just entirely yellow with little bits of white and red and black thrown across the whole thing. But it's mostly yellow, which kind of sucks, and at least now it looks somewhat better with all of the yin and yang signs painted in. But yeah, very nice figure, very happy to get this one, but I do not know how to transform this yet, so I'm just going to leave that as is. The next figure though is a transforming one, and I was able to figure out this one pretty easily. I'm just forgetting his name right now. This one here is the figure of Imperial Digimon. I just don't remember what this exact mode is called. I think it's supposed to be fighter mode or something like that. And basically this one here transforms from the one mode to the other mode. I mean, it's not a terrible figure, but it's also just kind of weird, and the proportions are kind of off. His arms are like really long, and there's just a whole bunch of weirdness to him, but still fairly decent, and I am happy to have this one. I'm happy to have all of these really. I don't really come by these all that often, so whenever I find anything Digimon, I'm extremely excited. But at the end of the day, Imperial Dramon here in either of his modes is still a fairly decent figure and pretty representative of what the character looked like in the TV show, which you can't say for a lot of the Digivolving toys. Now, the standalone figures are usually pretty show accurate, but the Digivolving ones are kind of a mixed bag half the time. Now, the last one here is by far my favorite figure of the set. This is the last one that I have to show you guys. It is the figure of Magnumon. And this one here has a loose ball joint there. So this one leg guard, I suppose I can call it, is kind of loose on it. But I'm very happy to see all of its pieces are included there. This one here breaks apart and it forms the Digi-Egg of Miracles, if I remember correctly. Basically, there were two golden Digi-Eggs, and the Digi-Egg of Miracles is one of them. And Davis and Vmon use it to turn Vmon into Magnumon. And this one here is just awesome to look at. Now, I do believe that there is a shiny chrome-plated version of this as well, but I've never come across that ever. But if I do happen to find that one, I'll be even more excited. But this is still an amazing figure to have. I'm very happy to be able to add this to my Digimon collection. I'm not going to bother to try to take these apart and transform them now in this video, because then this video will just be ridiculously long. But that's all the stuff that I got. As always, leave comments in the comment section below. Anything you'd like to say, comments, questions, suggestions, ideas, anything at all, just put it in the comment section below and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Check out my Facebook, Twitter, and website. They're all linked in the description below. And also linked in the description below is a link to my 500 subscribers contest. Check that out as well if you'd like. And that's it. See ya.